So as we covered yesterday, there was a pretty hyperbolic press conference done by Sean Strickland yesterday, and the reaction in Canada has been unbelievable. Everyone is on board with all of the things that he said. He said, you know, you are an infection, trying to teach our kids all of these terrible things about the boys who want to be girls and all of that. And everyone in Canada collectively was like, he's right. Let's get rid of all this woke stuff. I'm done with it. I've had enough. We're going to make Sean Strickland the new president of Canada. That's not what happened. That's definitely not what happened. People are up in arms. And I am going to go through some of the greatest responses here that I've ever seen. We're going to go through each one. Now, here's the deal, too. Before I even say this, though, I am going to give you a piece of information that no one realizes that is for 100% sure a fact about Dana White and this incident. And once you realize what Dana did here, you are either going to hate him more than you could hate a person or love him even more than you probably already do, like me. I'm also going to cover this report that the UFC apologized for Sean Strickland's presser to these people up there in Canada, because I think I know what happened there.
Told from multiple people who were in that room, and this is, from what I understand, fully the truth. The UFC went up and apologized to AK after that. The UFC, the company of free speech, the company that says, we have 600 maniacs on the roster. Fight promotion is fight promotion. Weird shit's going to be said. We support it. We don't silence anybody. They went up and apologized to AK.
I'll hang around because I'm going to respond to that guy later in the video, and I'm going to put my hand inside of him and work his mouth like a puppet. And as I just did this and thought about it, he'll probably like that, so never mind. We are going to take another approach, but I'm going to eviscerate that argument later on in the video. But I won't if you don't subscribe to the channel. If you want to see me respond to that, you have to subscribe. It's like a choose your own adventure book. It's like, I really wanted to see him respond to that, but I'm not subscribed, and he said he won't, so subscribe. Help everybody out, dude. I will know if you do. Now, I cannot stress this enough. If you're a fan of this channel, this is a show you're going to want to watch the entire thing, because I have some nuclear fire later on in the video. It's all good, but don't skip any of it. If you end up being like, yeah, I got to go do something, trust me, come back and watch the rest later, because this is going to get spicy. Now, let's get to the most fun part of this video, because as soon as you guys wrap your brain around the fact that I am going to give you right now, you are going to laugh so hard. Let's get into the Dana story. We got a lot of video left, so no big preambles. Dana has a show in Toronto. He does not like the guy up there, you know, the guy up there that I put on the thumbnail. I don't even, like, I'm scared to talk about any of these names on a UFC channel because I feel like they're just going to go, press it down. Don't show it to anyone. But you know who he is. He, you know, he's like a halfway good looking dude, and he stands for everything that we don't like. And also Dana's super close friend that he has helped campaign, and he has walked into all of the shows, is a bitter enemy of that gentleman up there. Let's put ourselves in Dana and Sean and Mick and Hunter's meeting, and they're like, all right, so who are we going to headline these shows? They're like, well, we got the show in Toronto. Who should we put on there? Are you telling me that they, by accident, put Sean Strickland on that card? Now, think about it. Are you telling me that that was an accident? That's an accident. That Sean Strickland, who they knew for 100% sure was going to do a thing like that into the microphone in a Canadian auditorium. You think they did that by accident? You think Dana didn't do that on purpose? 100% he did it on purpose. He knew exactly what was going to happen. I wouldn't even be surprised if Dana, like, you know, he's like, hey, so who wants a press pass? They look, they're all, oh, this is the wokest dude on earth. Put this guy in there. Make sure he gets a question. That guy goes up, hey, so, you know, I was looking through your Twitter. It took me about 6 days to fully get a handle on the disgusting things that you've said. And I wanted to ask you about some of the things that you said. I'm not going to tell you who I voted for. Oh, no. Gosh, I wonder who. So are you a dude that likes dudes? No, I'm an ally. Okay, so that's the funny thing about people who use terminology like that is I don't need to ask you another question about anything. I already know everything about you. I know what you think on every single topic. There are no exceptions. You don't think the idea of Dana putting Sean Strickland as the head of this card in Toronto on purpose to troll the entire Canadian country is not funny? Then I don't understand you at all. It's hilarious. And you're going to also think that these X posts are hilarious that I'm going to respond to. And so we're going to jump right into it. And then right in the middle somewhere, I'm going to respond to that dude who said that the UFC apologized. And I'm just going to take his argument and go, boop. All right, so I realized there's a chance that I might title this something about the UFC apologizing. So I'm actually going to do this right here. And just as a fair warning, after this, I'm going to show you posts from Luke Thomas, Brian Campbell, and a bunch of other people that just had to let it be known that they don't stand by Sean Strickland and he's a disgusting human. So definitely stay around for that after I eviscerate this guy's argument, which I'm going to do right now for you guys. So what exactly did he say there? Let's recap the facts that he said. He said that
the UFC went up and apologized.
They went up and apologized afterwards, and they being the UFC. So the UFC went up and apologized, and the smug part was
the company of free speech, the company that says we have 600 maniacs on the roster. Fight promotion is fight promotion. Weird shit's going to be said. We support it. We don't silence anybody.
I thought the UFC is all about free speech and they never silence any of their guys. Guys say crazy things and they're never going to silence them. And then they completely contradict themselves by apologizing after Sean Strickland went on that tirade. Proven point. They're hypocrites. They stand for nothing and that's just what it is. Oh yeah? Is that what that means, dude? Let's just go back over who apologized, first of all. Who specifically apologized? Because are you implying that Dana apologized? Did Hunter Campbell apologize? Did someone who actually represents the organization apologize? Or did someone who works for the UFC apologize? One person who works for the UFC apologize. That's not an official apology. That's not an official apology at all. That's a single person apologizing. Not to mention, let's say that it were Dana, which it obviously is not. But let's just say that it were. Would that mean that he contradicted himself? Go ahead. Explain to me how Dana apologizing to someone would be contradicting him saying he'll never censor his fighters. Oh, it doesn't. Right. So smug face makes no point that makes any sense. Someone wants to cut the tension and go, listen, man, I'm sorry. We didn't know he was going to go that hard. And they want to just be polite since they're in Canada and that, politeness. If someone apologized, it obviously is not censoring anyone. It doesn't represent any kind of contradiction to what the point Dana made was at all. There's no contradiction there at all. Now we're going to get into the reactions because this is amazing. I'm going to start with Luke Thomas. I want to say this in advance. I don't have an issue with Luke Thomas. I just think this is hilarious because I know he really wants to call Sean Strickland a sleazebag, but he's nervous about doing it because stepping into politics has been problematic for him. And so he did the minimal that he could. The what? The minimum that he could. And he let his co-host do it. And he just reposted. He's like, look, I'm on this side. I don't want to say anything about this because I don't want to really dive into politics, but I can't help myself. So I have to repost this, but I don't want to, but I do want to. I can't decide. And so he reposted Brian Campbell as co-host when he said, this sport is getting grosser by the minute. I just couldn't agree more. It's like if you go to the zoo and you go to the tiger enclosure and you see them feed them a live monkey or I don't know, whatever, some alive animal that you know for sure a tiger's going to eat, and you go, my goodness, tigers are disgusting animals. Can you believe he ate that thing? And you're like, it's a tiger, dude. They eat live animals. That's what they do. If you jump into the enclosure and, make yourself look like food, it'll eat you. So reposting something Sean Strickland said, and that this sport is getting grosser by the minute. How did it get grosser by the minute? Like, what happened yesterday that was not the case the day before that? You didn't know that this is what Sean Strickland thought? This is shocking to you that Sean Strickland is, kind of an opponent to the education of children, that this, that, and the other, that's a really big shock to you. So I think what we call this is a virtue signal. That is exactly what you call this. When people go, it's just virtue signaling. It's like, yeah, that's exactly what this is. This is virtue signaling. Okay. We know what you think, or I thought we knew what you think, but you couldn't help yourself. Both you guys had to weigh in. Me, obviously, everyone knows what I'm thinking. I'm not virtue signaling. I think it's just really fun to make fun of people. This is like someone, I'm the tiger. In this situation, I'm the tiger. I'm the tiger in the cage that is just waiting to eat something. And then Sean Strickland said the thing, and I was like, oh my God. They are going to send me a wheelbarrow full of bleeding monkeys for me to eat tomorrow. You're just the first two for me to eat. No offense. I don't dislike you guys. It's just, you guys, there's a layup, dude. So, and then here's obviously the post from Brian Campbell. Let's just see what some of the reactions were. I haven't even read these. I'm almost at the end of it with you and Rob, what's up, dude? Look at that. Agree. I don't agree. But what you're saying is stay out of this, dude. You're on a bad side to be sharing these kinds of thoughts. Cause all you have to do is go to one event and then watch how they react to the tall guy with the red hat coming in. And it's like, You're in the minority, dude. There's no reason for you to be sharing ideas like this. They're just going to light you up. But yeah, look at this, dude. Every single one. Cover another sport. Cover another sport. Cover another sport. Agree. Virtue signaling reporter. Yeah. Oh, wow. They got ripped. Not the sport for you. Why ask the question like that? You're the problem. Woke. Oh, my God. They got annihilated on this, dude. They got annihilated on this. Wow. Yeah, I mean, listen, I would have advised against posting this. Let's just move right along. Let's see some of these other brilliant takes from some of these home reporters. But as some quick pretext, like, we don't have any issue with gay. As a matter of fact, we love gay people. If someone on my team, or jiu-jitsu team that I train with every day, was like, I just want you to know that when I go home to a man, I'd be like, awesome, dude. Good for you. That's cool, you know? So anybody who thinks that this is some kind of thing against that group, it's not, dude. There is a huge difference between a person who is that thing and a bunch of virtue signaling crybabies who make a huge deal out of every single thing, okay? Like, they're not the same thing. This is a person. I got no issue with you. I will give you a big fat hug. I will choose you as a training partner every day. We got no issues whatsoever. Wait, did you say that you were born a lady and now you're a man? I still don't care. We can train together, dude. We got no issues. None. So what are you talking about? I'm talking about virtue signaling crybabies. That's what I'm talking about. Like the people that are going to be featured in the rest of this video. And I'm going to start with this guy, because if virtue signaling was a human, this is him. Like, look at this guy. Look at, hey, what's up, man? I work for DraftKings, and I'm a man's man. I got my shirt open here. I got a necklace on, dude. But you know what? I won't stand for that bigotry. I won't stand for that bigotry. Let's listen to this guy, because I already filmed this, but I feel like I got too mad, and it wasn't funny because I was just kind of like yelling about how sorry this guy is. So we're going to just reshoot it, and I'm going to take a different approach. I'm going to let this guy tell you what he thinks of this entire thing, and
that is bullshit that we allow that. It's bullshit, and we can't ignore it, and we should. If there isn't gonna be a punitive measure, let's move on. Move the fuck on.
Specifically, what kind of punitive measure did you have in mind? He's like, well, the first thing that comes to mind is I think that Sean Strickland should be forced to play 7 minutes in heaven with me in a closet. What's 7 minutes in heaven? We get locked in the dark in a closet for 7 minutes and no one can come in for any reason. Is that a punitive measure? Yes, he's not allowed to say no the whole time. What are you going to do in there? That's none of your business. It's 7 minutes of heaven. You're not invited to heaven. It's just me and Sean Strickland in the closet. He can't say no. He can't say no. That's the first punitive measure.
But there can't be a punitive measure, Mike, if the person in charge doesn't feel anything in the way of pressure. Like, there has to be the outrage and the reaction to it. Now, I understand that the reaction these days to the outrage is to simply say, you're too sensitive.
I know. Hey, I wonder why. I wonder why that's the reaction. Hey, you two guys, hey, Mr. Stugatz, hey, Dan Labatt's and Stugatz. What do you guys think about what Sean Strickland said? They're all... I don't know how we can move on without there being punitive damages. I mean, geez. I mean, so Dana White put him on the top of a Canadian card? I mean, that's crazy. This guy needs to be locked somewhere where he can't say these really, really scary things that I really, really care about. You don't care about any of this, dude. Okay? That's why this is all such a joke. You, Dan LeBlanc, and Stugatz, you guys don't care about this, dude. Do you not realize you do not care about this? You guys are a joke. You're virtue signaling and you don't even realize it. You've been so infected in your brain with propaganda that you think this is what you're supposed to say, because no one cares. Like, no one cares that Sean Strickland thinks this. Hey, are there any public figures that think like things that are completely diametrically opposed to things I think? Yeah, there are. There are a lot of them, you know? Am I going to go on and be all, take him off the air, dude? Oh my God. I am going to totally just lock myself in my bathroom without any devices and cry and cry and cry. I will resign from my show. Oh.
You want to cancel me. This isn't freedom, you being outraged by every little thing. But this kind of speech is not a little thing.
He's wearing a t-shirt that says women go back in the kitchen. Well, like, what are we doing? Like that's not. Look, we haven't even touched on that. That's
what are we doing? It's a joke. It's a joke. It's a joke, man. Hey, I'm married and I have 3 daughters. I'm the only man in the house, okay? Do you think that I'm going to be, hey, Gabrielle, won't you make me a sandwich? And if that sandwich ain't hot when I get downstairs, you know what's going to be hot? My hand across your face. That's right. That's right, because I like Sean Strickland, so that means that I take everything he says super serious. He's pulling your string like you are a Chucky doll. You know, it's like, I want to be your friend. Please come home early. You're the only person I've ever loved. I just found out that I'm your biological doll. Oh, wow. These like pull your string. You're all, this hatred is just absolutely unacceptable. Sean Strickland is blah, blah, blah. They should throw him off of ESPN. Disney is a family company. Blah, 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 blah. You are as predictable as a string pull doll, and he is pulling your string. No one thinks you're cool for this. All you're doing is just going like this. No one knew who I was really when it came to MMA, and now all of them do for the wrong reason. Now I'm going to be the butt of every joke. And why don't you ask Luke Thomas and Brian Campbell how well it's gone for them when they take a stand against stuff like this. So why don't you go check out their Twitter? Matter of fact, probably check out your own Twitter.
Hatred of 40 years ago. We could have got past that. And now we're just rehashing it because there has been a change. And it's the same people that ask for politics to be kept out of sports and have introduced this vile hatred into it.
This guy is one of these guys that goes to the bar and he's like, hey, listen, hey, I just want you to know, ladies, that I'm an advocate for you. I am not going to let anyone say anything negative about you. You know, I think that we should go back to your house and talk about all of the progress that we've made in the last 50 years. You know, would you like a drink? I don't want to put any pressure on you, but would you like a drink? She's like, I don't know. We could just talk a little bit more. Like, I could make you a drink, but no pressure. No pressure. She's like, all right. He's like, all right. Oh man, keep it going. Keep this going. I'm going to give her this drink. And then, start talking about Susan B. Anthony and, when, women getting to vote. And then maybe she'll let me slide my hand down her pants, but don't let her know. Just keep virtue signaling. Just keep on virtue signaling. I am so proud to be your friend. I think feminism is the greatest thing that's ever happened in the last 100 years. And Sean Strickland is a disgusting pig. We should get him kicked off of everything. Why don't you go ahead and continue, you wolf in sheep's clothing creep?
While being platformed, while being legitimized, as the former president of the United States sits next to Dana White, the head of their company, at big marquee events.
Oh! The former president sits next to Dana White at the marquee. Oh, so what's this really about, dude? Oh, my goodness gracious. I just can't stand it. You want to know why it's going to be so glorious if that guy wins the election? Is to watch crybaby, virtue signaling, phony ass losers like this guy melt down every single day. He's going to do the rest of his life in prison. Is he? Are you sure?
It's just, as it's on ESPN. I asked Jimmy Pitaro, what gonads are you going to show me in this instance? Because that pay-per-view is on ESPN+. That is on ESPN+. And I know Disney is an inclusive company. I worked for it.
Inclusivity is the most important thing. How is this guy named Stugotz? Looks like that and sounds like this. The world is so crazy. I literally was just saying to Gabrielle yesterday, I was like, you want to know what I feel like? And maybe I'm in a bubble, but it's like we got all the cool people. It's like you got like the just straight up nerds over there that just don't even understand what they're talking about. And then you have like all the cool people over here. This guy is like a dude doing an impression of a cool person. And then as soon as you're like, well, let's see what's under the mask, he's all, oh, did you see what he did? We need to put pressure on Disney and get him to shut down the event.
You say nothing?
Yeah, nothing.
You know
correct.
what? You were right, Dan. I'll walk it back. End of the segment I have to change my mind on something. I'm glad you made us play that video.
Oh, I think you're going to wish that he hadn't, dude. I think you're going to wish that you hadn't, because this is where you find out what the real majority looks like, I know you probably are a big mainstream media guy, and so they show you like, oh yeah, look, it's everybody's aligned on this. Then you do a thing like this and watch what happens, dude. Just watch. you're going to really wish you didn't do that.
Because while the UFC isn't going to do anything about it, I would challenge ESPN to make a public statement on this. Because that kind of hate is going over their airwaves. The Walt Disney Company. What are you, a chicken shit?
I will literally, you know what, I just had an epiphany. I will bet you $1 billion, $1 billion that this guy's significant other is a hyper wokester. This is a person who is being performative all of the time. Literally 100% of the time. He's at home, he's performing. He's over there, he's performing. I guarantee, I would bet my life on that. I would bet my life on that. I'm going to move on though, because I'm going to end up being too mean. I don't know how else to read them. I'm going to do the voice that I read these in. So this is Omoplata God. And oh, by the way, if you're homophobic, unfollow, block this account, and suck my nuts, you losers. Whoa, dude. Whoa, well, I just said that I wasn't, so I guess that can't be directed at me, but I do think that what Sean Strickland said was really funny and addresses some serious issues that are going on in the world. Wait, I thought you said that you don't have any issue with it. I don't. Why don't you ask yourself what that actually means, you know? The difference between like, this is what a person is and infecting every single part of society and then brainwashing children into thinking it's weird to just be a normal straight person who wants to have a family, etc. Like in Hollywood where they're writing I saw that. I can't believe I forgot to talk about this. And guess what? Omoplata, you are going to have to take a back seat for a second. I saw the new Mean Girls. Okay. I saw the new Mean Girls movie. Now, if you've seen the original Mean Girls movie, it's hilarious. They have a lot of edgy jokes. There's a lot of, like things that are funny. They make fun of whether or not a girl likes a girl. They have some funny racial jokes and everyone's friends. It's a great flick. So I saw the new one, right? I expected it to be kind of wokeified. I didn't expect it to be a musical, because they misrepresented what it was completely. They did not say it was a musical. It's a musical. They made some interesting choices of casting and things like that. But the thing that I noticed that was really important to what we're talking about now is they also removed something else. And that was Regina George's father and Katie's father. So in both cases in the original, they're an intact family with a mother and a father. And somehow in the new wokeified version, neither of them had a dad. And it's like, I'm trying to think of a single time where I've seen a major Hollywood movie recently that has an intact family. And when you see none of those ever, you ask yourself, I wonder why they're doing that. Is it because of people like the guy who are talking to Sean Strickland that Sean Strickland called an infection? Yes, that is exactly why. So do I have an issue with a person who has a lifestyle like that? No, I don't. Do I have an issue with an entire ideology that thinks that it's the right thing to do to write out intentional or intact families out of any mainstream media because that sends the wrong message? Okay, that's what we're talking about, guy. That's what we're talking about. We don't care who anyone is with. We don't care. I don't even care anything. I was a boy, now I'm a girl. We don't even care about that. Just don't teach kids that that's the more normal way to live. Like, that's not the more normal way to live. If a kid ends up liking dudes, if they're a guy, or they're like, I don't feel like I'm in the right body and I've never felt whatever, you're like, all right, streamlining that to all children, mainlining it to them. The people who think that it's important to stick those ideas into children's heads from when they're 3 years old, that's our problem, okay? And so, like I said earlier, when I said, I already know everything that you think about everything, the second that you called yourself an ally, that's what I'm talking about. I already know. Oh, do you think that this person should be able to compete against biological women? Yep, I already know what you think. Do you think that it's important to teach 3-year-olds that there are, you have a choice? You're a girl? Not necessarily. Not necessarily. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. That, ally. So when Sean, just starts vomiting stuff out at you and they're, oh my God, he's disgusting. He's, he's phobic. Maybe, or maybe not. Maybe he's just a dad that understands that you are eroding society from the inside out with your toxic ideas that you think are the right thing to do, and you're wrong. Okay? You're wrong. There are no people who will be healthier when they're grown-ups if they had the option of 2 healthy parents, father and a mother, versus a single mother if the father was going to be a healthy father figure, and you are telling everyone that's not important, okay? It is important. Ask Sean. Ask Sean. Is that important? Would his life have been better if he had like a healthy, intact family? You know what I mean? So, anywho, let's continue. I just wanted to make that point before I start eviscerating these people. All right, so let's continue on with what we've been doing here, and let's continue looking at some of these genius takes. So, I mean, I assume the only way that people could care this much is they're like, you know, they're allies, right? So I can't, you know, I got to read their voice as they sound to me. Sean loves to constantly talk about women and gay, blah, blah, and minorities, but there's a fit. Whenever someone pushes back against the narrative, he pushes constantly. Absolute snowflake. Counter jab, geez. Those are some seriously hard words. He seems to be easily upset by other people's thoughts and opinions, or someone whose entire gimmick is not caring about other people's thoughts and opinions. Shed boy, that is a really good point. And right now I find myself just totally having my mind changed about Sean Strickland. Like, I don't know why I thought the things that I thought 5 minutes ago. Now I'm like, you know what? Shed boy was right. Shed boy's right. Shed boy is my new source of what's right and wrong. Hokage MMA says, I'll forever be mad at Drickus for backing out of bringing up his childhood trauma. This mother effer truly deserves every single bit of it. Ooh, geez, you should try to fight him. This guy, oh God. Oh man, okay. So, whoops. This is bigotry. Gays, lesbian, bi, trans, and more. All are people who have the right to exist in the world. Who said they didn't, nerd? This is the most, oh God, this is tired, dude. Corporations, private equity for profit, prisons, and military industrial complex will ruin the lives of Yeah, I know, we agree. Ruin the lives of people. Even traditional value caused by, dude, we're aligned. Why are we arguing? Who said they don't have the right to exist, dude? I can't stand that one, dude. That one is so tired. They want to take away our right to exist. Nope, we just don't want you to play against my daughter in field hockey, okay? We feel like in rugby, you should not be demolishing little girls' skeletons. That's kind of, you know, like their bones are a little bit more brittle. We don't think you should be crushing them. You know what? I've probably been talking long enough. I'm going to wrap this up. So that guy, you know, at the beginning, Stugatz, if it were me, I might go let him know how cool I think he is. But, you know, I wouldn't want to instigate anything like that. But Stugatz, hey, listen, I'm a guy that does not stand for bigotry. I'm a man's man. We're going back 40 years? We're going to go back 40 years of hatred? Shut up, dude. I guarantee you I treat my wife 100 times better than you do. You performative crybaby. That's it, actually. Just a performative crybaby. I love everybody. Subscribe to the channel. Peace.